So, I feel amazing. I've been doing this raw carnivore diet thing for the past 3 months. And in the beginning, I was just having like little good spikes of energy. And I was like, this is kind of interesting. I'm enjoying it, no negative side effects really. But now I feel that it's finally starting to kick in. I had the most amazing day today, just in terms of focus and productivity. And I haven't had one of these days in really like months, honestly. Especially once the winter kicks in, I feel like my energy level just go like, you know, it's just hard for me to stay warm. It's hard for me to motivate myself to go outside and to get work done and whatnot. But anyways, the day started. I woke up and I actually had a full night of sleep, which is really rare for me. I've been dealing with insomnia. It's a pain in the butt for anyone that has insomnia. You know what I'm talking about. But anyways, I went on my walk. It's freezing cold outside, but had the motivation. Then I came back and I was actually still tired, so I took a nap. And it's kind of funny because when my energy is getting better, I'm actually more receptive to taking naps. And this is probably because I've been stuck in like this hyperthyroid pattern for honestly probably my whole life, but definitely the past 4 years. So it's like ironically, the more tired I get, the more resistant I become to taking naps. So when I'm willing to like lie down and actually like get the rest that I need, it's a sign that my mental health is going in the right direction. So anyways, I woke up from the nap and I just felt really good. I felt recharged. I felt like I had like basically before I took the nap, I had almost gotten into that pattern of like forcing myself to work when I was too tired to work, and this never leads to anything good. It just leads to like scrolling social media, right? So I took the nap and I woke up and I felt amazing, and I had the energy to work on this coding project for my website, barefootwear.org. And I'm working on adding reviews for the site, which I think will be really cool. I think the site is missing kind of some like personal interaction. It's just kind of like all my info right now. And I thought it'd be cool to have you guys be able to add reviews to the site, anyone who wants to. So yeah, I posted a few days ago about like doing this little UI kind of like 5-star rating thing, which looked pretty cool. And then today I worked on the little like slider animation for sliding through the stars or sliding through the reviews. Obviously, there's only like one review on the site from me right now, but when I launch it, presumably people will add reviews, hopefully. But anyways, it looks, pretty cool. Got everything, the mobile design, everything done. And then I moved on to doing like a login with Google, and that was pretty fun. I've never done that before. So like I was just doing all these things that require lots of focus, mental stamina, and complex thinking, and I just have no problem with it. And that felt really good, because I feel like I've been stuck in a slump this winter with like not having my diet right, and like the right balance, not getting enough nutrition, too much this, not enough of that, etc., not enough vitamin D. And it's finally coming together, my friends. But anyways, like kind of what got me into the whole carnivore thing is this book called Toxic Superfoods by Sally K. Norton. A few people in the comments have recommended this to me, and I have been on every single possible solution, diet plan, etc., for trying to cure my joint pain. That's my major symptom. It's been going on for 4 years, and I just have not been able to find anything that works. I was on like the whole Lyme disease train for a while, and I was taking like all kinds of antimicrobial herbs, and my body was just like swelling like a balloon, and it was terrible. And then I got off that theory, and I tried like veganism, raw veganism, paleo, keto, high carb, low carb, just like every possible combination, and nothing was working. Like certain things would help, like when I introduced iodine, it helped clear up my brain fog. Fasting too is really helpful, but they did nothing, like zero, for my joint pain. This has been the problem that has been like an arrow in the side of me for the past 4 years, and it like really limits what you can do, because it hurts to work at the keyboard, it hurts to run if I do too many miles. Walking doesn't really hurt, but that can also hurt if I do too much. And this whole time I've been like trying to describe what the feeling is of the joint pain that I'm experiencing, and the metaphor that I always keep coming back to is it feels like this red hot burning, like people are like stabbing, my fingers especially are really bad, hips too. Like this is one of the reasons why I can't sleep at night, because I just toss and turn over and over and over again, because like one hip will get sore, then I'll flip over and the other hip will start hurting, and then I go to my back and then my back starts hurting. So anyways, um the thing that brought me, or that interested me in like the oxalate thing, is that oxalates can form these sort of like crystal, like sharp crystal like structures. Plants use them as defense mechanisms to prevent animals from eating them, and there are other anti-nutrients like that too. But that just kind of like resonated with me, because it felt like that's what's happening. It feels like I'm being stabbed by all of these like little tiny shards of something. So I don't know. It's interesting, and like I'm trying to get to a low oxalate diet, which looks like 30 milligrams of oxalate per day, which is actually really hard for someone who's been eating a lot of plant-based food. It's easier when now that I'm eating mostly carnivore, but like you can exceed that limit so easily. Like an avocado has like 20 milligrams of oxalate, so like there's a third of your daily allowance of one vegan food. And there was a time when I thought veganism was the answer, but it just like clearly wasn't, because I tried every single variety of veganism, and every single time it was like my nutritional levels just plummet. No matter how many different foods I incorporated, no matter how traditionally I prepared things, making like sourdough using einkorn flour that wasn't hybridized, soaking and sprouting, just all this stuff. It just never worked for me, and I wanted it to work, but it just didn't. So anyways, like when I started eating raw carnivore 3 months ago, I just started with raw ground beef, and then now I'm eating like a pound of bison per day, like high fat bison, and then either suet or back fat, and 2 raw egg yolks. And I really want to eat raw butter, but unfortunately, raw butter is illegal in America, most of America, except for like California and I think Utah or something. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It's one of those bureaucracy things where it's clearly just motivated by money and not at all by common sense or research whatsoever. And like what I've learned with this whole raw eating thing is that raw foods are not dangerous. It's entirely dependent on the source of the raw food, the freshness of it. How have animals been treated? What diet have they eaten? Are they healthy? And has the meat been, frozen right away, or are you eating it right away? And most of the time when people get sick from raw food, it's because they're eating garbage factory farmed meat where the animals are sick already, and then it's been sitting around in the grocery store gathering bacteria. But anyways, it's just been amazing. I love how it sits in my stomach. I'm feeling really satisfied. I'm having basically 2 big meals per day. I'm eating in the morning, and then I'm eating at like 2 or 3 p.m. And sometimes I'll have like a snack of something before I go to bed if I feel like I haven't gotten enough calories in. But yeah, I was eating an avocado every day, but I think that I'm going to take that out once I run out of the avocados that I have now, because like I said, I'm really trying to like do a strict oxalate diet just to see, what happens. But basically the only plant foods I have left in my diet are just like a handful of baby lettuce, which is low in oxalates, and then like blueberries and lemon juice, and that's about it. I'm doing my raw honey, which is amazing. I just bought a big freaking tub of it. I don't eat that much. I eat like, a tablespoon or a little less per meal. And the more, I've also added in organ meats. I've added in liver, raw bison liver, which is amazing too. I'm only eating an ounce per day, so a half an ounce per meal. And I can tell that it's not enough. I really need to get more, but it's so expensive. It's like, I think it was like $80 for an ounce per day, for like a 24-day like allotment or whatever you want to call it. And I was talking to this woman who I sometimes see on the path going to the grocery store today, and she was complaining about food prices. Because we had gotten into a conversation about eggs, and I was telling her how I eat these heirloom eggs. They're called it's from the company Vital. They're called True Blues, because they're smaller and the hens aren't hybridized to lay like all the time. So they lay like half the amount of eggs. So obviously they're more expensive. And I'm just telling her about, how they're more ethical and probably more healthy and better for the hens, etc. And then she started talking about her food bill, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm paying like $200 to $300 a month for food, and it's just so expensive." Like, oh, you don't even want to know. Don't even want to know what I'm spending. I'm spending probably $1,000 a month on food. But you can see the results. I just I look at like people in the grocery store lining up for the espresso machine and Starbucks, and just looking tired and worn down and like sitting there scrolling on their phones. And I'm like, that was me. That was me when I was on especially a cooked vegan diet. I mean, when I did raw vegan, especially in the beginning, I was feeling a little bit better, but it was also summer. It's really hard to eat a vegan diet in winter when it's like 10 to 20 degrees every day. It's so difficult to build up enough energy. But anyways, I don't know. That's kind of like what this channel is about, is just like taking huge risks and seeing what happens when you spend $1,000 a month on food. Like, does it actually pay off, or is it a waste of money? Like it's too soon to figure that out, really. I've been keeping track for I think like 4 years now, some basic stats like sleep quality, overall score for every day, and exercise, etc. And no diet that I've ever been on has led to an overall increase. It's like I'll get these little spikes where I think something is better, and then I look at the stats and it's just like either the same or worse. And that's been like the pattern for the past 4 years, is just like no improvement in stats. And that's one of the reasons why I haven't like talked about it with you guys with Notion, is because there's nothing to talk about. Nothing has worked long term enough, in terms of, not in terms of like clearing brain fog, but in terms of like getting to the like superhuman level that I want to get to, where I can do the things that I want to do in terms of being an author, writing a best-selling book, like that level. That's the level that I care about. I don't care about the level of like being stuck living at my mom's house and having a half-finished van. I mean, it's like, don't get me wrong, I'm glad to be on the journey and everything, but I have big plans and I plan on executing them. I plan on healing myself. I plan on somehow figuring out how to help my parents heal themselves, because they are on the completely wrong path. I When I switched over to eating mostly raw meat and organs and stuff like that, I I decided to give my dad this huge bag of wild rice that I had. It was probably like $80 worth of wild rice or something, and he's struggling financially, and probably basically his whole life. Like, he's a creative person, woodworker, photographer, and he was never good at running his own business, and he never got paid very much at the corporate jobs that he did. So anyways, it's really frustrating to me to see him, eating non-organic food and stuff like that. So anyways, I give him this whole bag of wild rice, and what does he do with it? He immediately takes it to my aunt and uncle's house, and he like divvies it up into four different things for four different family members who are all better off than him financially. And then on top of that, he accidentally forgets to bring home his bag, so he's left with nothing. This is a pattern with my dad that is really frustrating to me. Is like, he has this like lifelong lack of confidence in himself problem that stems from growing up in a family where like creative stuff wasn't really valued. And so like his parents, my grandparents, pushed him into going to like get a normal college degree, when really he should have gone to like a trade school or something. So he's got this like thing in his head about he's like a loser, or he's not worth whatever. So this is why, like, when I give him stuff, even though he desperately needs it, he'll just like give it away to people. He's too nice. this is a lesson for anyone out there who is too nice, you know? Like you have to look out for yourself first, because if you don't look out for yourself, you can't help anyone else. It's like the put your mask on first if the plane is going down, because if you pass out, like who are you going to help? No one, right? So anyways, what's going on with my mom? Oh yeah, I had another argument with my mom yesterday because I had found this company called Utter Milk. They're like a sort of co-op network where they're actually the only place I found where you can order raw dairy products, and it looked really amazing. But it kind of sucks because you have to pay like a $40 delivery fee. But if you don't know, like raw milk, raw dairy products are illegal, like I said earlier. And so I don't know how I think they're sort of doing it as like a private sale thing. Like you have to pay $5 to become like a co-op member, and then it's like cash based. So, the legality is like gray. But anyways, when I told my mom that they might be, coming as late as midnight and there's nothing I could do because you have no choice of when it's delivered, she just like freaked out and said I was gonna like kill myself with eating raw dairy. And then the next morning she woke up and she was all tired because apparently she was stressing out about this raw dairy delivery all night long and didn't get any sleep, and then she like blames it on me, so it's frustrating. I really need to get out into the van so we can create some separation between child and parent. It's because child and parent have too many differences. But yeah, I wrote a little list down here. Let's see what else we've got. Oh yeah, I did a little drawing. This is the plan for the van seat and bed. So there's the heater, the propane heater here. And then I've got my little desk there. And then I thought I'd do this convertible bed sort of thing where the bed would be laying down. And then during the day, if I want to sit up, I'll raise the back of it, and then I can convert it into a sort of seat, which I think would be cool. I've really been missing somewhere where I can sit down and just focus and not be interrupted. I don't really, other than when I'm working at the computer, I don't really have anywhere like that in my room right now. I have my hammock, but unfortunately it puts a lot of strain on my hips, and then my hips hurt and I can't focus. And yeah, then I have my like wooden chair, but I already spent a lot of time sitting there at my desk to do computer work, and so like I don't want to sit there if I'm drawing or something. So it'd be really nice to have sort of like a kind of lazy boy setup with like a 3-inch wool mattress pad. I think that would be really cozy, and then my feet would be right under the propane heater, and so that would keep my feet warm. Yeah, I think it would be really nice in winter. But in terms of the van is sort of like on hold right now because again I'm waiting to be paid on the 15th story of my life. And the things that I need are the propane tank is installed under the van. I did all the routing for the gas. I'll show you that real quick. There's the shut off, and it's going to go up into the propane heater there. That was a pain. But anyways, the tank, the only place I could put it was like right up against the wall underneath the van. And so like the fill thing is pointing straight at the wall. So I don't think the fill station person is going to be able to get to it. So I had to order this like specialty part, like a elbow connector that's meant to go on the end of a propane tank fill. So it'll kind of like angle down and make it easier. And then once I get that installed, then I'll be able to take it to the fill station, and then we'll be able to start the propane heater up, which will be really cozy and just provide some like good vibes for like making vlogs in here, even though I'm not done with the van. Another thing is that the van's still really messy, and that's the next thing. But I found you can't really see it because there's so much stuff on top of it, but I found this new stacking package box toolbox system called stacktech by Tough Built, and I just found it by accident when I was at Lowe's, and it's actually like kind of genius because they have these like heavy duty boxes, and then you can stack them on top of each other, and they've got like latches, they automatically like lock in, and then they've got ones with like drawers, And I just thought it'd be perfect for van life or not van life, but like doing the DIY build because I'm constantly needing to move things around. I thought about getting like a really tall tool cabinet, but then it would be so heavy, it'd be a pain in the ass to get out of the van if it was loaded up with tools. And also, like every time I needed to get, you know, a different layout, like I needed to access this part, it needed to be lower, it'd just be like in one big piece, and especially as the van starts to fill up, it would be a pain. So these things seem really cool. I want to buy another one. I just bought a basic like flip top, which is one of the cheapest. But I want to get one with drawers. They have one with like 3 drawers, and you can fit some like tools in one level and just like miscellaneous stuff and screws and all of that. Because it is so hard to stay disorganized when you're working in such a small space and you're constantly moving things around to work in different areas. So that would be really nice. That would be really helpful. I think the next steps of the van build after I finish the heater is that I'm going to get a cage light to put in the back. So up there, which is going to be over my desk. I think that will look really cool, kind of industrial. But it'll also give me some light to record videos and to work at night. And so I'll have light and I'll have heat and we will be all set. Oh yeah, and the last thing about the floor is like once I get the floor in, I'm going to do some like knotty pine. I think it'll look really nice. But yeah, I can route out the plywood underneath the floorboards, and then I can put my heating mats. I don't know where they are. They're probably up in the front somewhere. So then I'll have, like a main heating source with the fireplace, and I'll also have warm floors, to work in here or just to like chill. Because it can get pretty cold on the bottom, even though I have some wool insulation in there, the cold just comes like straight up. Or I guess the heat gets sucked out of the van is what's actually happening. But yeah, all in all, an excellent day. I feel amazing, even at this late time of night when I'm usually crashing and not feeling like recording a video. So good signs. And I think like if the oxalate thing panned out and, the raw carnivore thing panned out and I managed to cure my joint pain, that would just be amazing. I feel like there are videos that I want to make health-wise, but I think that this problem has been such a big problem for me for so long that it's sapped my motivation to make other health videos because I just feel so stuck on it. And I don't know, I haven't really seen very many people or videos where people talk about curing long-term joint pain. It seems like one of the most difficult problems to deal with. And I think if it turned out to be that like raw meat and dairy products was the answer to it, it would be right up my alley, as everyone knows who watches this channel, because it's like, barefoot shoes and minimalist phone and things that generally piss the main population off. But yeah, one last thought. I was looking at a Dr. Michael Greger video today, and I remember because that was how I started off my like whole diet journey, with veganism and reading How Not to Die. And at that point I was like really impressed because it was the first person that I had read a book about nutrition from that had just like researched so deeply. And I thought like, this can't possibly be wrong. Like if this guy has done so much research, like this can't possibly be wrong. But then after I moved away from veganism and I hadn't watched his videos for a while, and then I came back and I just like looked at him as a person, and he just looks sick. He looks sickly. He looks weak and creepy. And I'm not trying to like assault a personal attack on him. I just like, this is just the vibe that I get from him. And it just makes me not want to go back to veganism because it sort of reminds me of the energy that I had when I was vegan, especially cooked vegan. It was just this like depressed, agoraphobic, angry, just tired, like, energy. And I never want to go back to that. So I really hope that the raw meat thing is going to pan out and not just be another fluke. But, like I said, I've already been on this diet for 3 months, and that's longer than I've been on a diet really in the last 4 years. So good signs, overall. But yeah, that's all I got for now, and so I'll be back tomorrow, probably some more videos, probably post a video if I can get the reviews from Barefootwear finished, and then you guys can go leave some reviews if you want to, which I think could be fun. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. I'll catch you next time. Peace.